Hello guys, and welcome back to another class of our course about the complete introduction to programming with JavaScript. So in the past class we talked about various data types, and what exactly I want to talk about today is pretty simple. I want to talk about about one way that you guys can store your data. And it's pretty important. So basically this works not only for JavaScript but for pretty much all the programming languages that I know. So one of the most common ways that you guys can store your data, and one of the most simple ways that you can store it, will be with the use of variables. So this is basically where you will store your data types. So what exactly is a variable? You can see it as a container. So let's write down a simple text. So let's say I want to print something. All right, let's say I want to print hello. My name is, I don't know, mouse. There we go. Hello, my name is mouse. So basically, if I run this project, so once again, to run project, simply go on script. Here you have what you can use as basically a shortcut. So if I print this, I will have hello, my name is mouse. Now what exactly I can do, I can take this sentence and actually store it inside of a variable. So pretty important to understand as well, just to make a quick connection with data types. So this sentence right here, since it's a text, it's a string. So even if, for example, I add 1, 2, 3 at the end, what's going to happen is that it still stays a string even if it contains numbers. So actually those numbers will become a string. Even if, for example, let's say I delete all this that is right here, those numbers will be strings. Why? Because I have those brackets right there. All right, so how exactly can I create a variable, and how exactly does it work? So I won't need this anymore. So let's say I want to create a variable that will be called, I don't know, car. So to create a variable, the first thing that you guys need to write down, you need to write down the keyword that will actually create the variable, and it's simply var. So right now, this tells to JavaScript that I want to create a variable. Now I will give a name to my variable. Let's call it car call1. In this case, it's gonna be car color, or just car color. And here, what exactly I will do, I'll simply give a name to my variable car color. So I'll call it blue. So here we go. I have my first variable that I have created, and it's car color blue. So until now, it's pretty simple. So what exactly does this mean? It means that each time that I run this variable right here, I will have blue as an output. So how exactly can I run this variable? So it's pretty simple. Here, instead of writing down blue, I can simply write down car color. And I can run, and when it's all done, I can simply run pretty much my my code. So I'll go inside of script and run my script. So here, as you can see, I will have blue as an output. If, for example, I change blue for red, so what exactly will happen? Pretty much the same thing. So if I run my code, I will have red as an output. So as you can see it right here, guys. So red instead of blue. Now let's say that I have not only one car color, but I have, I don't know, 3 car colors. So I have, I'll call them car color 1. Then I'll have car color 2. And this car color will be actually, I don't know, let's make it blue. And finally, I'll have car color 3. And here it's gonna be, I don't know, yellow. All right, let's do it like this. So right now, let's say, for example, I want to know what is the car color number 2. So I can just click 2 here. And now if I run my code, I will have blue right there, since the car color number 2 is blue. If I change for car color number 3, and I rerun my code, as you can see, it became yellow. So it's a really simple way for you guys to store your data. As I said, there is more than one data type. So right now we only worked with one data type. So if I want to work with more than one data type, well, in this case, let's say I want to work with numbers as well. So how exactly can I create a variable that stores a number? So it works pretty much the same way. So I'll start my variable creation with var. And here I'll say, I don't know, I'll name my variable num1. So this variable right here will be equal to, let's say it's equal to 5. So how exactly will I write my 5? So if I use those brackets right here and I write down 5 this way, what's going to happen is that this variable, so the variable 5, the 5 that is right here, will be considered as a string. Why? Because it's inside of those brackets that you can see right there. So it's pretty important to not add those brackets when you guys want to create a number. So here, as you can see, the color has changed. It became the orange. So right now, if for example, I run number 1, so in this case, num1, what's going to happen? As you can see, I will have 5 as an answer. So I can create various variables with numbers. So let's create another variable with numbers. It's gonna be called num2. Here we go, and num2 will be equal to 7. So pretty important. Another thing about variables. Variables are unique data storage methods. So if I have num1, I can't necessarily have 2 times num1 because I can't store. Well, I can't have 2 different num1s. That's logic. I mean, it's simple logic. So it's really important that you can only have one num1. If not, it's simply not going to work. All right. So if, for example, I run num2 right here, and I decide to run it. So as you can see, num2 will be equal to 7. So as you can see here, this is basically a simple, well, in this case, it's just a simple data type. Now let's say I want to make, let's make a simple operation. So let's say I want to addition my data type. So if, for example, I decide to make an addition of my car colors, so let's try it out and see what happens. So car color 1 plus car color 2. So as you can see, what it does, it puts them together, red, blue. It will not necessarily make an addition in the term of adding letters together. But if, for example, I do the same thing with the numbers, in this case, I want to make an addition of num1 plus num2. What exactly will happen is that it will give us 12. So as you can see, you can't necessarily make an addition with strings. Well, when you make an addition, it will simply not duplicate your text, but it will put one text next to the other. But when you do the same thing with numbers, what exactly it does, it addition them together. If, for example, instead of red, here I have 5 and here I have 10. And I do pretty much the same thing that I did earlier. Car color 1 plus car color 2. What's going to happen is that right now, it's gonna give us 5 followed by 10. So it's not gonna do 5 plus 10, it's gonna be 5 followed by 10. So in this case, since both are strings, it simply does 5 followed by 10. All right, the last data type that we are going to talk about today and store it inside of our variables will actually be booleans. So in this case, what exactly are booleans? So as I said in the past class, it's simply true or false. So let's create a variable and we're going to call it bool. So since it's a boolean, and inside of our variable, we're simply going to write down true. Here we go. So here we have our true. So now if we decide to run our variable bool, so what's gonna happen? We're going to have true as an answer. So pretty important, your true should be with small letters, because if you start writing down with capital letters or you write down your true in a different way, you will simply receive an error message. So as you can see, it simply doesn't work. It will not recognize it. So to use Boolean variables, it's really important to respect the capital letters. So not using capital letters, using only small letters. And so in this case, it will work for true as well as for false. So if we rerun it, as you can see here, we're going to receive false as an answer. Another thing, if you decide to combine variables, So let's do it right here. Let's do it with something like a text and a number. It's gonna be way simpler because in this case it only generates the number. So let's say I want to combine this variable and our num1 variable. So as you can see, what it does, it gives us our number followed by our text. So once again, it doesn't necessarily make sense. So once again, if you want to perform operations, it's really important to use numbers. So in this case, if you want to perform any type of operations, using the numbers will be the best way for you guys to really not have mathematical problems inside of your program. But don't worry, we're going to talk about various mathematical operations that you guys can perform in the next few classes. So that's it for this class, guys, and see you all in our next class.